family, large up yourself, big up yourself. Technical difficulties, I'm back on though, you know how we do. Cause it's a blood clot vibes. Selah Shalom TV, according to the text, as it is written. It's a vibes. Oh, y'all caught me in the middle of rolling up. Excuse me. Well, I like my split. Cause it's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family, big up yourself, large up yourself. It's your host, Selah Shalom, chiming in on the one and twos. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Creator Gang family. You know what I mean? You bring them, we raise them. Shout out to the righteous gods and goddesses, Naravinian goddesses. You know what I mean? People 100, 200, 1,000, all the good stuff. Cause it's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family. So also, let me of course, dabbling around on Facebook, trying to see if we can get another contender for a debate. Israelite dude going back and forth, but I don't think he's qualified. Just from just back and forth in a group chat. In a Facebook chat, I'm like, yo. It's like you got those cats who like to wiggle their way out of things, don't want to be held accountable. So I threw a New Testament verse because he was like, there's only one God. So I hit him with that 1 Corinthians 8:5, where it's talking about there are many gods, there are lords many and gods many. Then he goes, oh well, that's the New Testament. I don't. That's the New Testament. The New Testament false. So I said, all right, let's go to Genesis chapter 1:26. Where God said, let us make man. Now what's your excuse? We in the Old Testament. And also where it states, God said, let us make. Man has become like one of us. See that? This is supposed to be the Most High Creator talking about man has become like one of us. What? The Most High Creator? Because Jehovah and the Oahspe will never say no shit like that. Oh, man has become like the Creator. Hell no. No form of fashion. But the gods can say that. The gods could say, let us make man. The gods could say, man has become one of us to know good and evil. So if man knows good and evil, and it says, man has become like one of us to know good and evil, the gods just admitted putting us on an equal playing ground as the gods. Because if man know good and evil now, the gods can't trick man as easy as they thought. See that? So now, you got the gods, you got man questioning the gods. The wars against the gods and men. What you think that shit about? It's about mortals who disrespect the gods and be like, nigga, we ain't worshiping you. Nigga, you ain't the creator. Get out of here with that. Then the gods feel a certain way and start to bring what? Plagues and interfering with mortals, annihilating the lungs to death. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't know what they're following, man. Claiming to following the Creator, thinking that they following the Creator, not knowing they following these deities, man. Tekiva was tearing the nigga ass up on the motherfucking comment. I was like, nigga, I ain't even need to do nothing. What the fuck is there for me to do? It's gonna get to the point where shit, the niggas ain't gonna need to do shit. The females chopping these niggas up already. Feel me? And that's why niggas be tight. Because the females be over there roasting these niggas. And they getting their feelings. Don't nobody want to be roasted by no female, right? Niggas don't like that. I see y'all chiming in. What it do, fam? Shebrew, what's good? Tekiva, I see you. Yeriyak, Dread, Nasai. I see you, bedroom. Kizzy Rock, I see you, Kizzy. Elijah, I see Eliyahu. Eliyahu, Yerima. Yeah, Elijah, Messiah, peace, love, and light. That's the same guy that said there's no Torah. Exactly, Yare. See, it's a good thing that he probably don't take the bait, because it's like when you start saying things like that, See, this is one thing with me about when we on a chopping block of debates. A debate is not the time to do wishful thinking. When you debating somebody or you concluding the debate, it's not the time to be like, well, I think this, like how we just reason among ourselves. The creator gang in the chat, we rationalize, we just throw out. But when it's opponent before you, ain't none of that. It's as it is written, according to the text. So when I make my approach with these brothers, we engage, talk, just to talk first. Throw a couple shots. Oh, nigga, you following a white man book, John Newbro. Okay, nigga, you following the Strauss Concordance, the white man got them Hebrew definition. So now we in the same fucking boat, nigga. So what we gonna do? We gonna debate the text or not? See, that's what I'll do. I cut straight to the chase, like, yo, let's debate the text. Debate. All right, I'll debate you. And then when it comes time to it, they'll flake up. So he says, first he said there's only one God. Then I hit him with there's many gods. Then he said, oh no, that God in the beginning was Proverbs. It was wisdom. Then I said, well, nigga, who was wisdom? See, I'm setting your ass up based off what you telling me. Because if you're telling me that wisdom was with God in the beginning, then I'm going to counter-react that with the verse in Isaiah where it says, there's no gods besides me. That'll include wisdom. Nigga, wisdom can't be there. Only God exists. Huh? According to the Bible. There's only one God according to the Bible, right? So who is this wisdom you're talking about? See that? It's easy to put these niggas in the trap when they start. And I'm not going to say he's making up shit because he did throw scripture, but that scripture is actually contradicting the very Isaiah when it talks about there's no gods besides me. If you rolling with God, nigga, you a God with him. You know what I mean? Wisdom is a God if you rolling with God. But again, they can't make no sense of it. They'll say wisdom is Jesus or wisdom is the Christ. They'll start coming up with all type of shit to goddamn try to make it make sense when you start holding these niggas accountable. When you start holding these niggas accountable to the text, the game switch up. Niggas don't follow the New Testament. The niggas said Hebrew ain't a whole bunch of fuckery, yo. A whole bunch of fuckery. And it's another dude. He just texts. I don't care about people's opinion. No, that's me. Ain't nobody scared of your Brooklyn kids no more. See, I'm debate it. See, that's what I'll do. When they start talking, I'll say debate the text, and they'll start coming up with all type of excuses. You know what I mean? Oh, the white man this, the white man that, the this, the that, the book was written. I love it, you know what I mean? Because it shows their ignorance. It shows their own ignorance. The real was good. Yo, Selah, can you touch on why these Christians on Facebook are confused about who the true creator is? Easy. Because we've been deceived to believe in this Bible for the last 2,000 years. We've been taught to believe this book. When we were enslaved, the slave master used this book as a tool against us. So when we woke up and realized that we the children of Israel, that was a good thing. But the bad thing is that the God concept is where we all goddamn go wrong at. Ain't no wrong being the chosen. We the Israelites. Oh, that's cool. Cahoots. Kudos, nigga. We the chosen. Great. You know what I mean? But the misunderstanding comes in of the God concept. The biblical God is a deity, a man. As it states in the scriptures, God is a man. And rightfully so. But with the Christians, the Muslims, I ain't gonna put the Muslims in this. I'll put the Christians and the Hebrews and the Jews. What they fail to realize is that the deity who they think is the Most High Creator is a goddamn man. That's something that they're gonna have to work out. We good over here on that understanding. But for the diehard Christians and the diehard Hebrews who think Yahuwah is a man floating around in space, or who think Yahuwah will come back in a UFO and a spaceship to do battles with the nation, you off, beloved. That's the main thing people think. God is the Most High. Right. I'm debating with this dude on Facebook that God has image according to the text and that he really a Canaanite deity. El, yeah. The God of Israel is El, Elohim, hands down. The El, let me pull up El, I'll bring this up numerous times. But their God is a deity. See, these are depictions of El right here. Let me show you real quick. Man, hold on. See that? That's the Israelites' God right there. They go El right there all day. El. See? What does it say right here? Genesis 1:1. God, El, Elohim. See that? This is common knowledge at this point. But people are still locked into believing that this El is the Most High. This El ain't the Most High. See that? El. They go El. And not only is that El, but he's sitting with the Egyptian headdress. The headdress that he has on is the headdress of Osiris. See that? Now watch this. See that? Look at Osiris headdress. Look at the crown of Osiris. This is a good depiction right here. This is Osiris. This is El. Look at the headdress, beloved. Look at what El got on, and look what Osiris got on. The same goddamn headdress. See that? So while the Egyptians is worshiping Osiris or Asar, the Canaanites, the Israelites, is worshiping El. Two deities claiming to be the Most High. Huh? That's what's going on with El, yo. So regardless of what the Christian worlds talk about, they're worshiping two deities. First, they're worshiping God as a deity, the Father who art in heaven. He's a deity. And you're worshiping Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior as a deity. So you following, not you per se, but people are following two deities. And some three, because some people worship Satan. Some people worship Satan. Daryl Cosman, I see you. Peace, beloved. I see the fam. But yeah, so that's why I stay on the next of the gods, because that's the focus, the gods. You know what I mean? Yes, beloved. The focus is the gods. Bronze Yogi, what's good? Yeah, so once you clarify that they worshiping a deity, it's up on them at that point. We're not over here worshiping deities, so we clear from the deity worship. You know what I mean? The most we got to do is just make sure we keep our behavior and our actions intact while service is done unto others. Try not to go on flip on the far end. Other than that, shit, we clear from these false deities. Yeah, the Bible got Babylonian influence, all that. You know what I'm saying? People who don't know that at this point, or not necessarily this point, people who don't know that is people who don't study. You got Bible believers who, this is their history book. The Bible is their history book. It's everything. You see what I'm saying? According to the Bible, you know what I mean? Man, what's it, Malachi? I don't know if Malachi up on here, but when the year got started? When was the world created? 5700 BC? Not even 6,000 years ago? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, yo. 5,700 years would turn out to be 3762 BC or some shit like that. And it's supposed to be the creation of Adam. The creation of Asu. Come on, man. I'd be like, y'all gotta do better than that. I ain't been on this program in a minute. Let me see. Oh yeah, the gods, man. See that? We talking about the Babylonian influence of the Hebrews. Look at the headdress. Go show them that. Now, ain't nothing wrong, because the Babylonians and the Assyrians are your cousin, Israel. Right? Them is the same people. Coming out of the same lineage. When I try to tell people about the 7-day creation is the Amona Elise or the Babylonian, they go more Babylonian influence. That's hardcore evidence of the 7-day creation written in cuneiform, not Hebrew. That's why we say it's Babylonian influence, because you can't produce a source of a 7-day creation like this in stone. Moses didn't come with no creation story. He came with instructions, commandments. In the beginning, thou shalt not. That's what he came with. What do Matthew 22, 36, 40 states? Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the law of Moses? See that? Now, the 7-day creation story is supposed to be part of the 5 books of Moses. Genesis, chapter 1, is the story of creation. So the question was asked, Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the law of Moses? Jesus replied, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and all your mind. Why? And then he said, this is the first and greatest commandment. Why didn't Moses say, when asked, why didn't Jesus say when asked? Jesus replied, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without void, and the Spirit of God hovered above the deep. Then God said, let there be. Why not start with that? Because Torah, if this is Tanakh, and we're dealing with laws and instructions, that's chapter 1, verse 1. But as we see, that's not a law, statute, or commandment. It's a damn story. So right here is clearing up in Matthew that the first law, which is the greatest, is to love the Creator with all your wholeness, your mind, soul, heart, and body. The second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these 2 laws. If you keep these 2 laws, nigga, ain't nothing to worry about. You good. But say that to say that this proves the first 2 laws of the commandments. So if that proves that, then who told you to goddamn write the story of creation? Who gave you this? Who gave you this? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, because that's what this is, the Babylonian tale. How did you go from, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth? Or how did you get to that when you was given this first? Hail Israel, the Lord thy God is one. Huh? You must love your Lord God with all your heart, soul, and mind. But it don't start that with that. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 don't say that. Genesis chapter 1 don't say love the Lord thy God with all thy soul. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 giving you a story, which came from the Babylonians when you niggas was in that captivity. Huh? You borrowed some customs when you came back, but you forgot. You forgot you borrowed the customs. You thought it was yours until thousands of years later when niggas had to redo the history and realize like, oh, you thought that was your shit? Oh, no. Check it over here. Look at these people. Look at the people that enslaved you. They got on the same clothing that you got on. See that? They got the fringes too. The Babylonians, Assyrians, Sumerians, they got the fringes. There you go. They rocking out with the fringes. See that? The garments, the fringes, the turban, the locks, all that shit was going on in Babylon too. You remember, Abraham was from Ur of Chaldea, the same region of these same people. These same people is the exact same people Abraham come from. You remember in the Oahspe it said that Abraham had a long, lofty beard, copper skin, just like these people. Isn't that a coincidence? So we just showed that it's easy to show the Babylonian or Assyrian or Mesopotamian influence on the Israelites because it's the same people. Y'all the same people. Malachi got it 3761 BC. Come on now. Niggas out here niggas out here in the goddamn 3761 BC. Niggas out here with Lou among them boys. Niggas out here playing with Louis. Hey, yo, that shit run deep, fam. Niggas out here running with Louis. Not Louis. Anu. Nigga out here running with them Anu boys. That's crazy, yo. That nigga Anu Hassaj ain't even give niggas a timeline. He said, yo, I'm gonna just give these niggas a story and just, it is what it is type shit. Let me get that goddamn Anu up in this motherfucker. Let me see if I can find that shit. Man, we got so much goddamn work for these Hebrews and ourselves, because we Israelites too. So we got to battle this information before we can even say yay and nay about it to other people. You dig? Time of creation. Let me see. No, that's the real time. Let me find that Hebrew time of creation. That's crazy. Niggas out here in motherfucking pre-dynastic Egypt talking about it's the goddamn beginning of the world. Said, boy, I'm glad I came up out of that shit, boy. Nigga would have been caught in them snares. That shit would have been ugly. Yeah, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, let me drop this on the timeline real quick. Let me drop this on the timeline. These niggas over here playing. Look at that. See that? Y'all want to follow the Bible? You see where it say? Where it say? 3761 BC. You see where it say that? Now this is the this is the 23rd arc cycle after the creation of man. This is 23 3,000 year periods after the creation of man is when the biblical creation starts. Let me see if I can find another map. Right here. See that? See where the earth at in the 23? So the earth done went through 23 3,000 year periods before the Bible creation story starts. So that's the 23rd arc cycle. This is all that the time that's in the arc cycle, the time periods. Some of the event, I didn't go all extra detail and put all the histories, but I just gave you a blueprint of some histories. So as you see, it says start of Hebrew calendar, creation of cosmos, 3761 BC. But during that time in the Oahspe, the first 200 years, them niggas is over there building up pyramids and building up sphinx, building up chambers, getting things right. And then Anu Hassaj rose 3753 BC. That's around the time he rose, right after the creation story. Not even 10 years. Look how the time period connect. And then the creation of the time of Noah would have been 2106 BC. That would have been the time, that would have been 100 years before Israel entered Egypt. Because remember, Israel spent 400 years in Egypt. So if the Exodus was in the 15th century, you count, boom, that's going to bring you up to 2000. So the flood of Noah was 100 years before Israel went into captivity. And the time of Abraham, look at that. Look where they put the time of Abraham. 1684 BC. 422 years from Noah to Abraham would have placed Abraham at the time period of 1684 BC. Now the sad thing about that, that's the time period Israel was in captivity. So how the hell Abraham could be sojourning when his descendants is already on the planet in captivity? That shit don't even make sense. The years ain't adding up biblically. Huh? You can't make no sense of this shit. So first you worship in a deity as the Most High. Then you worship in a Savior as a deity as the Most High. Then this creative false God gave you a fucked up time, a time period where you're counting backwards. You're going from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nigga, who do that? Who count time like that? Where in the world in history time has ever been counted backwards to forwards? And then based off the BC, meaning before Christ. Some try to say, yo, they don't want to use Christ, or we're going to say, before Common Era. Bullshit, nigga, that's still before Christ. You know what I mean? Because y'all still basing it off AD and BC, around Jesus, 1st century. You know what I mean? Because if that was the case, the numbers would have continued going in the negatives. What the fuck, that shit gonna go from 0 -1, negative. I'm like, nigga, that shit don't make no sense how they got the timeline calculated on here. So, you know what I mean? You just want to be mindful when you're observing the biblical timeline. So if the timeline is off, that means the prophecies is going to be, I won't say off, but if the prophecies is based off creator, then you're going to have to use the sun and the moon, stars, to dictate these time periods of prophecy. Got that ginger root, sea moss mango mix. We don't know about them things, no brother. We know about them things, the sister. You dig? There's 4 Sabbaths a month. There's 4 Sabbaths a month. The 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. And then you got the dark periods, and when a crescent moon come around, then you start for the next 7. So there's 4 lunar Sabbaths in one moon cycle. It's called the 4 quarter moons. And that doesn't change. It's always the same. So if the Most High said on the second moon cycle, 17th night and day of the moon was the flood, that means that was the second moon cycle, which was spring, because that's the first season of the year is spring, and each season has 3 moon cycles to it. So spring has 3 moon cycles for spring. So the second moon was the second month, and the 17th day of the second moon is a full moon. That's when the flood of Noah took place. So if the flood was going to be tomorrow, and to nightfall, it'll be a full moon we'll be looking at pre-day of the flood. You see what I'm saying? So, you know. See what I'm saying? So the flood, the 17th, on the Roman calendar, that'll be a Tuesday. That's the second day of the week. The 17th day of the moon is the second day of the week. That'll be equivalent to like a Tuesday. Kendrick, where you see Blessed Messiah? Kendrick tapped in where you said Wild Pitch was good. Wild Pitch War. Wild Apache Warrior. I like that. Wild Apache Warrior. Yeah, man. Vibes. Everybody chiming in. You know what I mean? So yeah, like the Bible, it gives you dates. You know what I mean? It gives you dates when things occurred. So if you wanted to try to trace when the flood took place, or if the Most High Creator said, you know what, I'm going to bring another flood, and it's going to be the same date I gave the first flood, the second month, 17th day. Now, if the Creator came with that, you can't go and say that's February 17th. No, that's the Creator we talking about. So it's going to be up to you to know when that moon cycle is. You know what I mean? So that's where the whole studying and learning, the positioning, the crescents, yeah, it takes time to learn that shit. It don't happen overnight. Even if somebody feeds you all the answers you're looking for, you still gotta wait until that shit play out for 10 years. You know what I mean? Follow the moon cycle in 10 years. I did that shit. Got the evidence. Hard work and labor. Dedication. Fell off here, fell off there, came back. You know what I mean? The Muslims have to admit that their God is a deity too if they accept the God of the Bible. Exactly. The real, you are absolutely correct. The Muslims and those who practice Islam is better off having nothing to do with Torah or the biblical God of Torah, because soon as they say they accept the God of Torah, now they have deified Allah. If they leave that Torah alone and don't fuck with Elohim, because the Muslims, they don't see Allah as a man. You tell them niggas Allah is a man, they want to get you crazy. The only people who believe Allah is a man is the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam, just like any false god, so to say, they deified the Creator. So if Jibril, we know the story of Jibril, we know his cunning tale, how he assumed to be Allah. But the Muslims don't know that. So let's say the Muslims is literally calling on Allah as the ever-present, not knowing that Gabriel tricked them, right? And then you have another nation that comes up under you talking about, well, Allah is arm, leg, arm, hand, and they turn the Allah that cannot be seen, now they turn him into a man. That's what the Nation of Islam did. That's why it's friction between the real Orthodox Muslim world and the Nation of Islam, because the Orthodox Muslim is like, nigga, you made Allah into an idol, nigga. And then you calling yourself Allah. You saying you the Most High, you the Supreme, you the Almighty. I've been around them 5%ers. I used to study with them. Had the whole 120 lessons, and I see how they rock. They gonna let you know they don't believe in no more. They call the Creator the spooky God. But I don't believe that they're calling the Creator the spooky. I believe that they're calling it spooky based off the religious dogma of the gods. You know what I mean? Because ain't nothing spooky about the Creator. Everything is mathematically proven. The Creator is proven mathematically. Just like I said, the sun, the moon got 3 months to a season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they go your 4 seasons, 12 months. Broken down into 3 moon cycles. That's mathematics. We're dealing with the Creator. See what I'm saying? We ain't dealing with a God who's talking about bow down and worship me and you don't know how to count the moon cycles. At least in Genesis chapter 1:14, at least it told you that the great light and the lesser light was for signs, seasons, days, and years. Now it left it up for you to study it. Proverbs 25:2. The glory of a God is to conceal a thing, but it's the honor of a king to search out a matter. God can conceal things. The moon cycle is concealed until you search it out and figure it out. If you don't do that, then you will not know. The only people who will know are those who done searched it out, figured it out, and we can show each other's charts like boom, okay, boom, yeah, that should add up, boom, boom, boom. Or I missed it that day, you caught it, boom, boom, boom. That's how that shit work, you know what I mean? That's right, create a code. Yeah, we dealing with mathematics. Creator is all math. Creator is all math. Soon as you get motion, you dealing with mathematics. The only time you escape mathematics is when you in stillness, when there is no motion. When Jaja said, yo, all was, all is, all shall ever be, and motion was, and is, and ever shall be, and motion was his speech. Once Jaja said, shoo, he threw out that vortex, mathematics begin. Now the next question is, well, how fast was this motion? How fast was the vortex? Vortices could be spinning at different velocities. One vortex spinning at 1,000,000 miles per hour, another vortex spinning at 2,000,000 miles per hour. It's still mathematics. The Creator is all mathematics. You dig? Yup, he everywhere and everything is in him. And that which symbolizes that in creation is air. The air, the ruach, the spirit, the gases, the atmosphere. That is one thing that is everywhere present. See, water can't be everywhere present. Water will be localized in a lake, localized in a river. Solid things can't be everywhere. You know, you got rocks and mountains over here, you got green patches over here. But the only thing that invades everywhere, that is ever present, is oxygen, is air, is the atmosphere. And the atmosphere is symbolic to that of the Creator. So when the Creator says, I am everywhere present, what in nature can we see that is everywhere present? Oxygen, air, the ruach, the spirit. See that? They call it the Great Spirit. And then above the atmosphere is the ether, a rarefied air. Still air. Still air. It's rarefied. Like that Rakim song called A Mystery, nigga. That was my shit. That shit came out in 1997, that album. That was the 18th letter album. That was called, the Mystery God shit. That shit was hard, boy. That track. Yeah, who that, Stephen? Yeah, yo, that shit was a tough track. And see, Rakim, you know, he a 5%. He did with the God, so he's only giving you what he knows, you know what I mean? But that was a hard-ass track. When I get the studio up and running, nigga, I'm gonna put together some fucking bars and punchlines for you niggas like, oh shit, this nigga done took it there. But yeah, though, your hot science videos are absolutely remarkable, bro. I'd like to buy a copy of that chart. Yeah, I'm working on a new chart. I'm gonna create a new chart in a scroll form. So I'm gonna have that shit scrolled out on the back to get the camera to zoom in or whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, that chart is the breakdown of the timetables of prophecy. Shout out Jim Denon. Jim Denon, he got a thing called Removing Oahspe's Enigma. You can look it up online. Just put in Removing Oahspe's Enigma. And that's where I got the blueprint from. I just expanded that shit all the way down to 11-year cycles dealing with the moon cycles. So it comes to the moon cycles, then the moon cycle starts with the 11-year cycles. Then the 11-year cycles, you go from the 11 years to the 33-year cycles. Then from the 33 to the 66 to the 99. Then you got your first century. Get a 200 year, now you got a half Dan. Get 400 years, now you got a whole dam. So if we had no disturbances from slavery, if we was just not interfered with, and we was charting out the lunar cycles, we could track out the 3,000 year period through the generations without no interruptions. So when we cross over, we're not going to live to see 200 years. So by the time we croak, we get 80 years old. We croak, the generation after us will keep the arc going, keep the chart going, chart out the years, and now we got a whole 200 years of an unbroken chain of keeping track of the constellations, the sun, moon, and stars. You know what I mean? That's one thing the Egyptians had a chance to do. That's why Osiris played it smart. Osiris didn't go to war tactic. He said, yo, we ain't gonna do like Sargentine and go to war route. We gonna educate. And that's why Egypt is still standing as one of the greatest cities for education. It was education going on in other places, but they was being destroyed by the wars in the Far East countries. Two more books. Yeah, I got to get back. I'm at work on that. Man, that was a couple books I was supposed to put out. A dietary book. I'm gonna do a second edition to the Timetables of Prophecy. You know, just give you a little bit more detail. You dig? But yeah, family. According to Genesis, water is older than the earth, and it seems as if God ain't create water. Yeah, because it said He was hovering above the deep. He was hovering above the waters. And that's another thing that is nonsensical, because the vortex is what keep the water intact. For example, so when you look at water in zero gravity, right? Now this water in zero gravity, right? See that? That's what a vortex do. In the center of a vortex, or if there's no gravity, like the flat earthers, like the flat earthers like to say there is no gravity. Well, if there's no gravity, water still forms a ball. It's still global. Now, the question need to be asked, what's keeping that water global intact like that? In the Oahspe, it's the vortex. Here it's zero gravity. And the Oahspe says the center of the vortex is zero gravity, meaning no force of its own. Let's get that real quick. Let's get where it states that the center of the vortex is no force of its own. That'll be like no gravity. Right here, let me see what the verse said. Yes, family. Yeah, the Oahspe is illy. But here, right? It states the earth floats. It said the earth floats in the midst of a vortex. Right here. From the swiftest part of the earth's vortex, its force is towards its center. It's towards the center of the earth's center. If there were no earth here present, the vortex would create one. So the reason this is global is because of the vortex. And that's where the flat earthers miss out, because not necessarily miss out, but they overlook that a vortex, anything that's in the center of a vortex, the vortex produces it globally. Like right here, it says The Earth assumes the global form. See? The global form. You got even another Earth that kind of looks like an Earth. See that? The global form. The Earth assumes the global form. See that? And if Earth is 75%, 85%, however many percent water, the dominant shape is going to be based off the water, and it's globular in form, and it's like this. You notice it's just not breaking off and just splattering. It's intact. The vortex is why the Earth is intact. That vortex right here, it says the vortex is globular or globular according or corresponding to the form of the Earth. See that? The vortex is what? Globular, corresponding to the form of the Earth. And like I said, a vortex ain't nothing more than the galaxy. So let me give you what a galaxy, and in the center of these galaxies are these balls of fire. See these galaxies? See all these spiraling galaxies? Notice in the center of every last one of those spiraling galaxies is a bright light. But that bright light is a globular object, just like every other celestial body is. Globular. The vortex is globular, corresponding to the form of the Earth. See that? Things fall not to the earth because of the magnetism thereof. But look, but they are driven towards the center of the vortex by the power of the vortex. So when you see things coming out the sky like meteorites coming down, it's the power of the vortex. Because the vortex is constantly driving its energy down towards the earth. And then it says the name of the force of vortexia, of the vortex is called vortexia. That is positive force. So you know in the beginning, when Jehovah gives motion, he calls it positive force. That's vortexia, the positive charge of the creator. Not dealing with the man. That's what we're showing you. And then right here it says, for which reason the north and south lines of the Earth's vortex is called the M vortexia, the negative force. They go the feminine aspect of the creator, being the negative. So this is why the Oahspe is illy, because it breaks down these things and it don't leave you out there and let you know why objects are globular. See that? They're supposed to be in a station where there's no zero gravity or whatever. And fire, same rules apply to fire. You put fire in zero gravity or you put fire in the center of the vortex, you get the same thing. You get a circular. That fire in zero gravity forms a disc too, forms a circle, corresponding to the vortex. Yeah, man. So when you start studying the Oahspe, one thing you're gonna realize is that the vortex damn near is responsible for everything. You know what I mean? Ain't shit going on without that vortex. You can forget about it. Ain't no whirlwinds going on without that vortex. Ain't no tornadoes, no cyclones, no hurricanes. Ain't none of that going on. Yeah, son. Yes, family. Eric Hamilton was good. Is it possible that we cannot perceive? Yeah, we as ants, yeah, because we subjected to it. You know what I mean? When you subjected to something, you can't get the true view. Even with airplanes, we don't fly high enough to get a view of the whole planet. The only one who could the only people who could tell us the shape of our planet would be the angels, who exist in the or the high atmospheric or the etheric realms. The angels from the Etherians coming down will see the whole shit. They'll see the size of the planet objectively. See, we subjected to the planet, so we given what we think of the planet. That's why so many different views. If it's flat, square, circle, but those coming from heaven to earth, seeing the whole objective, they'll know. But for me, I go by what Creator shows me. Creator shows me that the sun is globular. Creator shows me that the moon is globular. You know what I mean? And they're intact. So, that's my standpoint. I go by what Creator shows me. If the earth is flat, prove it. And then the proof is going to be a subjective proof. A subjective proof meaning that it's something that you coined, or you may come up with a hypothesis or a theory, but it's not necessarily true. But if I pull up this phone and say, yo, this shit is a rectangle, kind of square, that's an objective reality. You can't argue that because you see the evidence. But if we were inside of this phone, walking around trying to dictate how the size of this phone is, we wouldn't know because we subjected to the phone. That's why I say the only ones who would know is the angels. The angels is looking at, as they come, they're looking at the whole planet like this. They seen the whole shit before they descend on the actual planet and be walking among mortals. And according to the Oahspe, the angels said the planet is globular. You know what I mean? And another thing is this: some people be like, well, you know, how we gonna be up on the global world and be upside down? How you know you're not upside down? Think about it. If you leaving off the planet to go up, let me give y'all a little math to something to think about. Right? So now, this is us on Earth standing up, right? This is another planet. Say this is Mars. We looking up we looking up to the stars. So we on Earth looking up. So this is for the flat earthers who talk about, you know, we can't be upside down. Let me show you something. This is you standing on the Earth. This is your head, your feet attached to the ground. But this is the next star planet. If you go up to the star straight, right? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It appears you're gonna be coming up upside down. You're gonna be coming up at the bottom end of the planet. But you're not gonna come up like this. You're gonna come up, but you're gonna end up with your feet on the ground, not with your head on the surface of the planet. So if you leave from one planet to another planet, you're not gonna go headlong crashing in. You're gonna come landing feet like this. So if you was on this planet looking down at the Earth, guess what? You upside down. But how would you know? See that? Because if you leaving this planet, coming to the Earth, you come in head first. But usually when you come to a planet, you come in foot first. Huh? So how would you know if you upside down or not? Because when you look up, you looking actually upside down. Let that sink in. And the reason why you're not floating off the planet, you're grounded to the planet, is because of the vortex. See that? So even if you was upside down, an ant could walk on a basketball and be up at the upside down point, and that ant still be going on its course, on its flat plane, what appears to be flat. That's just something to think about. My question is, why haven't any of the space telescopes show us the shape of Earth? They have shown us Mars and Jupiter and such. Yeah, because see, the crazy thing is that man can't leave the vortex. So he has to send instruments out into the cosmos to try to get pictures of the things. But man, shit, the angels can't even leave the vortex. God can't even leave the vortex until the harvest time. The harvest time is the only time when this bitch gonna crack open and niggas gonna send down and that window gonna be open for niggas to try to scoot out. The only niggas who gonna see this shit are the Etherians. The angels that's gonna be graduating in 2048, when they ascend up to Etheria, when they look back, that's when they gonna see the shape of the planet. So everybody who had doubts of the shape, if it's flat or globular, those niggas in the third heaven gonna find out when they get ascended to Etheria. You dig? See that? Said CERN is trying though. Yeah, CERN, they trying to crack that vortex. Everything is vortexing energy. Everything is vortexing energy. So that's my thing, nigga. How you know you ain't standing upside down when you look up? When you look up at that night sky, nigga, your ass could be well like this, upside down, thinking you standing right side up, nigga. Don't get it twisted. The magnificence of the Creator. You dig? Cause it's a vibes. You know, Oahspe got some nice vibes, man. Timetables of prophecy. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and redo that chart. That shit gonna be illy. Everything they show us is CGI since the 70s. Exactly. The only thing that ain't CGI is that sun and the moon. And see, that's why I say the Oahspe, it states this in the Cosmogony and Prophecy. This is what it states right here, right? You know, it's chapter 1, verse 1 of the Cosmogony and Prophecy. The universal principle. This is the reason why I say it's globular. Because Creator shows one solid principle. It ain't like we watching a square moon and a triangle sun. Then we could be like, yeah, it's a possibility the Earth could be another shape because we have two different shapes in the sky. But the Creator said, yo, Jaja like, nah, nigga, my shit is systematic. My shit is one order. Like where it states right here, right? Right here, let me get it. This is the Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, chapter 1, verse 1. It states, the same principles apply to all the stars, suns, planets, and moons. Now again, we can't see the planet, but we can see the moon. So what's the shape of the moon? Let's get the moon. This is the moon. That's the moon. Okay, we know the shape of the moon. Now let's get the sun. Let's get the sun. Let's do this. Let's do this, son. You know what I mean, son? There go the sun, son. Now look, there go the sun. There go the moon. There go the moon. There go the sun. What did Jaja say? What did Jaja say? The same principles apply to all the stars, suns, planets, and moons, differing in manifestation on account of size, motion, density, and relative place. So we have proof right here that whatever made the sun globular is the same rules. I mean, whatever made the moon globular is the same rules that made the sun globular. And right here we have a depiction of both of them, sun and moon. So with that being said, Oahspe is letting you know that the same rules apply to creating the sun and the moon. He said the same principles apply to the stars. The stars, which are the stars? The galaxies, huh? And within the center of these galaxies, it's the sun. The sun is a star. These galaxies that you're looking at, in the center of the galaxies, is that. The sun. And then the worlds, the other vortices subjected within the sun's vortex, like the moon, still global. I could see if this moon was a triangle, and I'm like, all right, cool. But the moon is global. Whether if you want to play the circle game, it's a circle or it's a disc standing upright, I don't care. I'm talking about the overall shape is global in appearance. And anything in a circle is a circle in a in a two-dimensional world. A circle in a three-dimensional world is a globe. Because now it has weight, width, and depth to it. So Oahspe stated what? The same principles apply to all the what? Stars, suns, planets, and moons. So like I said, we can't see the planet, right? So when we look at the stars, these are your stars, your vortices. In the center of the vortices are what? The suns. The suns are what? Global in appearance. The Oahspe say moons also. The moons are what? Global in appearance. The only thing left out now is the planet. So what makes you think the planet gonna be any different? That's the beautiful thing about the Oahspe. It's consistent, and it lines up with creation. You can't argue that. You can say whatever subjective you want. This is an objective truth right here, that the moon is global, and that the sun is global. You can't deny that. That's an objective reality, an objective truth that even a child could understand. So why would Jaja have any rule different than these principal things? It said the earth floats. It said the earth floats in the midst of a vortex. Huh? What did it say right here? The vortex is globular, corresponding to the form of the earth. See that? So if Oahspe has already shown you that, if the Oahspe has already shown you that the principal things of the sun and the moon is already globular, and then right here it's telling you that the vortex is globular, corresponding to the form of the earth. So I'm rocking with what the Oahspe is rocking with. You know what I mean? So if you believe the earth flat, I ain't mad at you, and I ain't gonna argue with you. I'm just going by what the Creator has displayed before my eyes as an objective proof and a subjective reality that we can understand that the earth could be global based off this objective reality. You dig? It's a vibes. Wife, you just came in the building, yes? Who knows? You dig? Which form of full body detox is better to start detoxing my entire body? Please advise a brother. What you got? If you got the full body detox, go ahead and start with that. If you got the bundle pack with all three of them, start with the full body detox, the immune system booster, and the carbon C7. You can do it in that order. Or if you want to take a sip of each one, you can take a shot of each one. You dig? Vortices and spheres, exactly. Because they say the earth has an atmosphere. They got the word sphere in atmosphere. You dig? So when we look up atmosphere, or the word sphere, that's a sphere. See that? Like in the word atmosphere. And then it gives you objects, so you don't get it confused. See that? See sphere? Put an atmosphere. This is the atmosphere. And this is the word sphere. And there is your sphere. There go your flat earth cube. This is just the surface. That's where y'all niggas stuck on the cube. The flat earth. But y'all saying we a sphere. And the atmosphere surrounds the planet. That's the vortex. The atmosphere is the vortex. So, you know, it is what it is. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but I choose to believe what the Oahspe, what the Creator shows me through actual creation, cosmic creation, and what is the merit based off the creation in the book. So, it is what it is, you dig? The earth is 360 degrees of perfection. No doubt, sis. You right. You right. You right about that. We on in an hour. But yo, fam, I just wanted to hop on for a minute. I got to make a play. I got a couple things I had to do I just wanted to hop on for a minute, but I'm gonna come back a little later on, probably when the sun go down. You know what I mean? Come back with a little topic for y'all. Maybe the spooky hour. Come back with them ghost tales. But your boy Selah Shalom, me off for chime him out. I'm out for running to handle some business. Until then, it's a vibes, you dig? It's a vibes.